102. So we'll go ahead and get started. I am Andrea Perdomo Morales, and I serve as co-chairperson of the Social Work Advisory Committee of the Kansas Behavioral Sciences and Regulatory Board. I ask the members of the advisory committee to respond to a roll call to signify their presence at this open meeting that is being conducted remotely by conference call and other electronic medium. Carolyn Saffron.
Present.
Thank you. Danielle Johnson.
I believe Danielle just logged into the Zoom meeting.
Perfect. We'll come back. Mike Gillette. Leanne Gendry. I'm sorry, who was that? Was Leanne present?
She appears to be present on the Zoom call.
Okay, thank you. And I can't see all of the faces, so my apologies. Angie Heller Workman.
I'm present.
Thank you. Jane Holtzrichter. Jane,
Present.
can you help me say your last name?
You said it correctly.
Oh,
Present.
thank you. Kristen Stice.
Present.
Thank you. Robin Unruh.
This is Robin, and it's Unruh.
Unruh, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for correcting me, Robin. And then we'll circle back to Danielle Johnson.
Present.
Thank you. All right, did I get everybody? And again, I apologize because I can't see everybody's faces as I have the other information up. So I also note the following staff members are also present. We have David Fye.
I'm present.
Leslie Allen.
I think Leslie might be joining us later.
Okay. And then Ashley Van Buskirk.
Present.
Thank you. All right, moving on down. And do we have Assistant Attorney General Janet Art with us?
Jan is not available today, but Lainey Barnard, Assistant Attorney General, is present
Thank you,
as
Lainey.
counsel for the board.
Thank you for being here with us. And then next, David Fye will read a message concerning this meeting being held remotely.
All right, this is David Fye, Executive Director for the Behavioral Sciences Regulatory Board. Public comment allows the public to address the advisory committee about its concerns, but the Kansas Open Meeting Act, or COMA, does not require the advisory committee to provide public comment or answer questions from individuals. There will be no public comment at the meeting today to ensure adequate time for the items currently on the advisory committee's agenda. Because we're conducting the public meeting remotely by conference call and other teleconference ability, I state for the record the following information. Because the emergency disaster declaration was issued for the COVID-19 pandemic has been extended to May 28th, 2021, the meeting is being conducted remotely to comply with health and safety concerns, as the board conference room cannot accommodate social distancing for everyone in attendance. However, access to the meeting is being conducted by medium of interactive communication that allows members of the public without cost to attend the meeting through the use of conference call and on the board's YouTube channel. While the meeting is conducted remotely, the requirements of COMA are not suspended. As such, we'll be conducting the meeting pursuant to COMA and KAR 16-20-1 concerning compliance with the COMA during the existing emergency disaster declaration. On March 24th, 2021, we sent notice of the advisory committee meeting to all individuals who requested notice of the advisory committee meetings. The notice was also posted on the board's website, ksbsrb.ks.gov. You may obtain a copy of the notice at that website. An agenda and other meeting materials was posted to the board's website on the day of the meeting. You may also request a copy of the agenda by sending an email to david.fye@ks.gov with the subject line, quote, request for the agenda, and it will be sent to you. The notice contains information for the conference call and YouTube channel that allows the public to attend the meeting free of charge. The notice also states that if there are any technical issues during the meeting, you may call the board office at 785-296-3240. Each member of the advisory committee, staff, or presenter shall state the person's name and title each time the person speaks or votes. Each participant to the meeting shall ensure microphones, phones, or other electronic devices are on mute when the participant is not speaking. Each motion will be clearly stated before the advisory committee votes, and each advisory committee member will vote when their name is called. The chairperson will announce the result of the final vote. The advisory committee lacks authority to delegate a member of the committee or staff to sign any binding document on behalf of the board, thus no such statement or motion will be made. A recording of the meeting will be posted to the board's website. The advisory committee has the following items listed on the agenda: call to order and roll call, opening remarks, advisory committee co-chair, agenda approval, executive session, and adjournment. The advisory committee's agenda includes an executive session. If the advisory committee elects to go into an executive session, the advisory committee will follow this process. First, the advisory committee must be in an open meeting before going to an executive session. Then an advisory committee member must make a motion to recess for an executive session that is seconded by another advisory committee member. Each advisory committee member will then vote. A majority of the advisory committee must vote in favor of the motion to exercise the executive session. The chair will announce the result of the vote. The motion must contain a statement of the justification for closure and the subject to be discussed pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, and the time and place the open meeting will resume. If a motion for executive session passes, a conference call will be placed on hold. Attendees may stay on the call or return to the conference call meeting at the expiration of the executive session to attend the remainder of the meeting. The public will be excluded from the executive session portion of the meeting, as the executive session will be conducted by electronic means that is not available to the public. When the board members return to the conference call, the open meeting will resume through the conference call. The complete motion for an executive session will be recorded in the minutes.
All right. Thank you, David. The meeting is now called to order, and the advisory committee will begin its discussion of the first item on its agenda. So as you all recall, a couple of weeks ago, the committee met, but due to the training that we had, which was a great overview of a variety of different things that we all need to keep in mind, we needed to call this meeting to discuss the items that we didn't get to on our agenda. So Carolyn, do you want to add anything here in this section? Want to make sure I'm not missing anything from you?
Sorry, I had that on mute. No, Andrea, I have nothing to add.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn.
Mhm.
All right, so next, David, was there anything else in that opening remarks that we needed to say?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so then next we will go to the agenda approval. So we have the call to order, opening remarks, then the executive session and adjournment. Can I get someone to motion if they approve this agenda?
I move to approve the agenda. This is Danielle Johnson.
Thank you, Danielle. Can I get a second?
This is Jane Holzrichter. I second.
Thank you, Jane. All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. The agenda is approved. So moving on to our next portion is the executive session, and I'll turn it over to you, David.
Okay, great. And I have language here for an executive session motion. So I will go ahead and read the language of the motion. And then when I finish with the language, I will go ahead and ask if a member of the advisory committee would like to go ahead and make this motion. And then it will need to be seconded. And if it's passed, then the advisory committee will go into executive session. So the language of the executive session motion is as follows. Pursuant to KSA 75-4319, I move the Social Work Advisory Committee recess into executive session for, and then there's a period of time to go into executive session. For this motion, we'll need to indicate the amount of time. In the past, executive sessions such as this have taken maybe about 25 minutes. Is that something that the advisory committee might be in favor of for a time for the executive session?
Sounds good.
Then pursuant to KSA 75-4319, I move the Social Work Advisory Committee recess into executive session for 25 minutes and reconvene the open meeting at 1:35 p.m. The meeting will be reconvened remotely by conference call at 1-877-278-8686 with a PIN of 327072. And at the link on the board's YouTube channel as stated in the notice of meeting that was sent to individuals who requested notice and published on the board's website, ksbsrb.kansas.gov. The justification is consultation that would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship with the board's legal counsel, and that would be Assistant Attorney General Laney Barnard. The subject to be discussed in the executive session concern the Kansas Open Meeting Act during the disaster emergency declaration. Board staff who may be included as the client in the executive session are David Fye and Leslie Allen. And this is the language for the executive session. And now if a member of the advisory committee would like to make this motion, please go ahead and vocalize that if you would like to make that motion.
This is Jane Holzrichter. I so move to
This is- Oh, go ahead, Jane.
accept the language.
This is Carol and I second that motion.
Okay, and then Andrea, if you wanted to have the members vote, they could go ahead and approve the executive session motion.
Okay, so any discussion?
No.
All right.
No.
Can all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Okay, so if it will be helpful to me is that for members who are on the Zoom call, if you don't mind just logging out of the Zoom meeting, if anyone wants to stay in the meeting, I'll move you back to the waiting room. But then use the executive session conference call phone number, which was sent to you over email, to enter that session. And once I've moved everyone to the waiting room, then I will go ahead and join you on the conference call for the executive session.
So I'm a little confused, David. We get out of the Zoom meeting right now and we call in?
Correct. You use the special executive session conference call phone number, which was emailed to you yesterday for the executive session. So go ahead and log off the Zoom call and then go ahead and use that executive session phone number to call in for the executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Hello. We're letting everyone back into the Zoom meeting.
Okay. Can we go through Zoom?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
We can go ahead and go back through the original Zoom.
Yeah, you can click the original Zoom link to go back into the meeting if you'd like.
Okay, great.
We'll just wait for her to join the Zoom here in a second. All right. Thank you all for joining back in the open session. If there is no further business, then we would take a motion to adjourn.
Andre, can we speak to our next meeting date? I don't know that I have that.
Yes, let me find that real quick, Carolyn.
Thank you so much.
David, you have it handy.
I am looking now.
I believe it would be May. Let me just pull up that calendar real quick.
I have down May 18th.
Yes, that is correct. That's what I have.
Tuesday at 1, is that Tuesday at 1?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you.
Did a calendar invite go out for that?
I don't believe we scheduled that one yet.
Oh, okay.
So we are meeting every other month on the third Tuesday at 1 p.m.
The third Tuesday. Okay. Okay.
I will not be able to make that meeting, just a heads up.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So any further items or a motion to adjourn?
I motion that we adjourn. This is Lee Gingrey.
Thank you, Lee. All those in favor say aye.
I think, sorry, I think there needs to be
A second. This
Thank
is
you.
Carolyn. I second the meeting. I second the motion.
Thank you, Carolyn, for seconding it. All right. If there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for your time this afternoon and enjoy the weather, and we'll see you in May.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.